3 years ago, during her first year in office, Marjorie Taylor Greene repeatedly violated the mask mandate that had been put in place by then Speaker Nancy Pelosi. This was the year 2021. COVID was still raging. Vaccines were still being rationed. You had to wait and get that notification the vaccines were ready, try to sign up before it all gets taken. It was a hell of a time, but everybody was still wearing masks. Except, of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene and a couple other members of the Republican delegation in the House. They refused to wear their masks on the House floor, in spite of the fact that they were fined $500 for the first offense and then $2,500 for every subsequent offense. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene broke the rules so many times that she racked up more than $100,000 in fines for not wearing a mask, because she said it was a form of protest. Well, she didn't want to pay the money. She knew she was accruing the fines, but thought, I'll be able to fight it. So she took her complaint to the House Ethics Committee, and the House Ethics Committee said, nope, you owe the fines. She said, okay, fine. I'm going to take it to real court. And the lower court told her, no, you owe the fines. That was in 2022. In 2023, she finally got it in front of an appellate court. And the appellate court told her, no, you got to pay those fines. And she said, okay, I'm going to take it to the damn U.S. Supreme Court. And this week, the Supreme Court told her, no, you got to pay those fines. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, along with Republicans Thomas Massie and Ralph Norman, who also had violations and fines, but not nearly as much as Marjorie Taylor Greene, they were also told, you got to pay those fines. Marjorie Taylor Greene, being the petty, horrible human being that she is, she's a millionaire. Let's keep that in perspective. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a millionaire. Now, that alone should probably piss you off, right? But anyway, she has the money to pay the fine. Like, that ain't nothing for somebody with an alleged net worth what Marjorie Taylor Greene has. So she could have just paid the fine and move on. But she wanted to make an example of this. She took it to the Supreme Court of the United States. And they refused to take the case, instead sticking with the appellate court's decision that said, you got to pay the fines. This is so dumb. And what's even dumber is that Marjorie Taylor Greene and these other lawmakers, I don't know the financial status of the other guys, but they've been there for a bit, so I imagine they got a little bit of cash. It probably cost them more in legal fees, lawyer bills, all that, to appeal these fines than it would have if they had just paid the fines. So now you screwed yourself twice, because I don't imagine that it's very cheap to have lawyers write briefs to the United States Supreme Court, because even if you don't get your hearing, you still have to submit your brief. So you paid tens of thousands, if not more, to lawyers to fight this idiotic little battle for you, a battle that everyone had forgotten about. Nobody cared about your little protest anymore. It was over. You're not getting votes for it. You're not losing votes for it. Everybody else had moved on and forgotten that it even happened. But you decided to keep up the fight, and it cost you even more money. And now it's back in the headlines, not because you were such a good little protester, but because you're a damn idiot that still has to pay the fines. So I hope it was worth it, Marge, because now instead of having everybody forget about it, we're reminded of what a loser you are and how you wouldn't even do the bare minimum to keep yourself and everybody else in the House of Representatives safe from a deadly pandemic.